Meanwhile, in Bahrain, Saudi-backed forces have attacked anti-regime protesters in the capital Manama and several villages. The protesters were calling for the downfall of the Al Khalifa monarchy and denouncing the regime's brutality against peaceful protests. Meanwhile, since the 4th of January, anti-regime protesters have been holding a 10-day sit-in at a town near Manama to press ahead with their demands. More than 10,000 protesters have been gathering at Freedom Square in Moksha every day. The demonstrations are planned to continue until the 14th of February, the day marking the start of the revolution in the kingdom. Protesters demand the release of political prisoners and an end to Manama's deadly crackdown on peaceful protests. Nabil Rajab with the Bahrain Center for Human Rights is joining us now on the line from Manama to share with us the latest news from the Bahraini capital. Mr. Rajab, thanks so much for being with us. First of all, tell us about the latest wave of violence that we've been hearing in reports against protesters.
Yeah, we still, as we see, the level of protest is increasing as we approach the 14th of February. And protests we can see in everywhere, and we are expecting to see much more in the coming few days. As you know, the security forces are not tolerant to any protest attack against protests in every part of Bahrain. The new thing is that we've seen more protests happening in Manama more than before, and tomorrow we have another protest in the afternoon at Manama, and we expect to see the security forces attacking it. And we have another protest in Budaya Avenue. There are a lot of protests happening. There are people, including myself, will be walking the Tibir roundabout in the coming days, and we expect to be attacked also. The situation is tense. People are very much committed, standing for their goal, standing for the demand that they came out 14th of February. Government, with the support of the Saudi, with the financial and the military support of Saudi, doesn't seem that they're willing to talk with any opposition. So the situation remains a very tense situation.
Well, Mr. Rajab, speaking of how Saudi Arabia is involved in this, as we know, sending troops militarily months ago, and now the recent reports telling us photos showing U.S. military troops training Bahraini forces in their suppression of the protests. What's the general view now among the Bahraini people on how the United States and Saudi Arabia are affecting their revolutionary movement?
Well, first of all, the position of United States government is supporting our government. That's very long and not something new. And we always say that will not help the long strategic interests of United States. Maintaining relation with dictators will not help their strategic interests. And this is the message we take to United States officials and friends that we have. And we have to take something into consideration also. We have a lot of Congress members now supporting Bahraini revolution against what is American government doing on selling the arms to Bahrain at the time where the Bahraini government killing the people. And so there were a reason for stopping the arm deal that's supposed to be done in the past few months. And again now, it seems Obama administration, they want to go ahead. But still we have a friend in the American Congress. Still we have a friend in the United States among the civil society. There are a lot of organizations, American organizations, and Congress or senator members who disagree with the administration policy by supporting the regime in Bahrain. And in fact, in reality about the training, I have seen the videos, I have seen the picture you are talking about, but I'm still in my own investigation. And I am calling the American embassy to find out for more clarification in regard to those pictures and videos. And once I have it, I will come out with you with an answer.
Right. And Mr. Rajab, just before we leave you, if you could also briefly tell us, earlier you said the prospect for talks maybe between the opposition and the Bahraini rulers. Is that going to be possible? Is that going to be practical? What lies ahead for this revolutionary movement? Is it going to be negotiations? Is it going to be a lot more pressure than that on the Bahraini rulers?
As more people getting killed in the street, as the talk gets more difficult and difficult. Now we have 4 or 3 people died in 1 week time because of the tear gas. And government doesn't seem that learning from their mistake. So the gap is getting wider and wider between the people in Bahrain and the regime. I don't see no indication, I don't see no signal that shows that there will be very close that dialogue between the two parties. I think international pressure needs to be made. I think Bahraini people need more protection from the international community. Human rights, committee needs to come from the United Nations to investigate on all the crimes and all the violations happening in this country. This is what we are looking to see. Otherwise, Bahrain government will not respect its obligation towards international convention. As we see a complete silence from the international community to what is going on in Bahrain, which Bahrain government sees that as a green signal, as a go-ahead signal with more and more violation and crime. So we need the international community to speak. We need the international and the world to speak. We need the United Nations to speak. We need them to treat all revolution in equal manner, not different between country to country. United States, which criticize Russia in dealing with one country or in selling arms to some countries with revolution, and they are selling arms to Bahrain at the time of when they're killing their own people. This is hypocrisy. This is double standard. This has to stop. Americans have to respect the people of Bahrain. The Europeans have to respect the people of Bahrain and their right to live in justice and their right to live in democracy. We are fighting for democracy. We are fighting for human rights. That needs to be taken into consideration. That needs to be supported, not ignored by the international community.
Mr. Nabil Rajab with the Bahrain Center for Human Rights speaking to us there on the line from Manama. Thank you very much, Mr. Rajab.